Welcome to the internal handover of a Benimar Mileo 282. First of all, I'll start showing you the control panel. It's a good starting point. Turn the panel on, that button there. If it doesn't light up immediately with the 12 volts, hit the 12 volt button, it'll light up. Next button along is your water pump. Next one along is your outside awning light. Down the bottom here is your battery level, so that's your leisure battery level, engine battery level, fresh water level, and this is a dimmer function, so if you hold it in, the panel will dim down at night time. If you don't want the panel on very bright in this bed above us here, we'll dim it back up again. A couple other things to look out for in the panel here. This little symbol here will light up whenever your waste tank is full. And the various symbols will light up when your fresh water level is getting low, when your battery level is getting low, or whatever, they will light up. This side here is showing you've got reverse polarity. It's just a note, the system will look after itself, but it's letting you know you're in reverse polarity. And whenever you're plugged into 240 volt mains, this light will light up here. Okay, so you move on around to the kitchen. Got your gas cut-offs here if you want to turn your individual gas off. All soft closed doors, just make sure everything's locked whenever you go to drive off, but everything's soft closed. It'll shut itself if you're parked up and lock it off. Kitchen sink here, little push drain there, and your hot and cold water tap. This is your oven. Again, control panel must be on. You've got an automatic clicker here for lighting the gas. So whenever you're lighting either of the rings, hold it in for a couple of seconds, let it light, hold it in for a couple of seconds, let the fail safe work on it. This here is your electric hob, so you've got one electric and two gas. And then you've got your oven and grilled this side, and again that's the sparker for that, and that's your oven in there. Okay. You've 12 volt socket there and a 240 volt socket. And just show you the operation of the windows here as well. So in the windows you've got a positive lock button in the middle there, so push that button in and twist the handles round and then just push it out, and the windows will stop in any position. They've got a damper built into them. Whenever you want to put it back in again, you have the ability to put it on a half latch, so it'll let the window breathe. If you're parked up somewhere, it'll let air flow through the van, but don't drive with it in a half latch, and make sure it's fully locked, all three of them. Okay, blinds are up the way, fly screens down the way. Okay, so they can stop in any position. This fan here, you've got an extractor fan as well in it, so you've got a little light and a light there, and your extractor fan in that position. There's nothing in these cupboards up here at all. Smoke alarm and CO2 alarm are mounted up there, so I encourage you to check those regularly as well. As you move down the van, you've got a microwave oven which will work when you're plugged into 240 volts. And then you've got a fully automatic fridge freezer here, so handle down the way there, just open it. Big freezer, biggest freezer you can get in a motorhome. Up the way on this handle to open up. Okay, to turn the fridge freezer on, hold that button in there and you'll see it firing up there. So if we use this symbol here to move it across to automatic, it will automatically find the most available, best available power. At the minute we're not plugged in, so it's going to light the fridge on gas. If you drive, it'll transfer to 12 volts. And if you plug into the mains, it'll transfer to 230 volts. Again, if you're going away for a weekend or something, plug it in at the house into 230 volts for 3 or 4 hours. Get the fridge nice and cold before you put anything into it. This button here is for your temperature. So it's getting colder that way, and this is for a defrost function on the door, so hopefully you'll never need that. It's just if your door freezes up. So leave it on automatic, let it do its own thing. When you want to turn it off and you're finished for a weekend, just hold it in and turn it off. The Truma heating system, got a separate video for that. This is a Truma heating system here, the control panel and the little temperature sensor. So we've got a separate video for that, so if you have a look at that there, please. You have a pull-out larder drawer here. Again, all with positive latches on them. As you come around the back of the van, you've wardrobes both sides. You have a table in the middle here. that black button on the floor, and your table is in there with the leg in there. So you lift that black insert out, put your table leg in, and then put your table on top of that again. Underneath the back here you've all storage. So this storage here is down into the garage. Your spare wheel is in there, and as you come around here it's all free storage as well. One place you need to look at in the van is down in the back corner here, is where your boiler is. I'll just lift some cushions out of the way. We just lift this insert out here. So this is your boiler. And on the boiler you've got a dump valve, which is this little item here with the blue pipes going into it. It's in the working position there at the minute. Whenever it's cold, that will dump automatically. So when it gets down to about 3 or 4 degrees in here, the boiler will dump automatically. I always encourage customers to dump the water anyway when they're not using the vehicle. It just makes more sense to me to have fresh water in the tank all the time whenever you're using a vehicle, as opposed to having it if it's been lying there for a couple of weeks. So whenever you want to dump it, you flick it around there, you'll hear the water flying out. To prime it up again, flick it back into that position, and there's a blue button down the front. Push the blue button in. So it's one flick to dump it, and it's flick back again and push the button in to prime it up again. So whenever you've dumped water out of the boiler, it's very important that you bleed the system up again. And bleeding the system up, very simple. Go to your control panel, turn your water pump on, and then open your hot water tap at the kitchen sink. Boiler holds about 12 to 14 litres of water. Let that fill up. So it'll fill up gradually over the probably period of 30 seconds to a minute. It'll start to splutter out, and then the water will start to flow. Move across to your cold water, do the same. And then when you go into the bathroom, do the same in the sink in the bathroom, and do the sink in the shower, and then everything should be fine. At any point in time, if you have your water pump on, and all your taps are closed and you can hear water flowing or the pump running, it means you have a leak somewhere, and 9 times out of 10 it could be somebody has maybe dumped the water out of the boiler and hasn't reset the dump valve again, and it's just pumping water out onto the ground. So check that first. Whenever you're not using the van as well, especially in cold weather, encourage you to bleed the system out. So dump the water out of your fresh water tank that we covered in the other video, and then open your taps and let the water flow out until it doesn't flow anymore, and then turn the water pump off again. Always leave your taps halfway between hot and cold in the open position when you're not using the van, especially in the winter time. It will stop your pipes freezing up, or should prevent them freezing up. I'll just put this all back in again. Okay, so we have an electric bed in the back of the 282. Button for the electric bed is here. So that's the down position. It's electric, runs off 12 volts. I'll bring it down to the top of the cushion height. If you wanted it down to this level, down to this cushion height, just remove the back cushions, set them on the floor down here, or up in the back. There's actually a good place for them. So the bed will come right down to this height here, but at the minute I'm just going to show you it on this level here. So good size of bedding, it's about 4'6". Okay, got a light up here, a little switch there to turn the light on. You've also got, you can see little latches on the roof there. You've got full safety nets right around this bed. So if you have got children in it or whatever, you can attach them onto that there to stop them rolling out. And you have 2 speakers up on the ceiling there at the rear, which is off the radio head unit at the front. That just covers the bed. As I say, there's a ladder there in the garage which will clip in here. You can stop the bed at any height you want, and the ladder can clip in there, but I think most people will drop it right down to cushion level. Button's back up there again. We'll just bring it back up again. It's designed to leave your quilts on it, but not to leave your pillow on it. So don't be forcing the bed up onto the roof. You will blow the fuse on the motor. It's there to protect the motor at the end of the day. So there's enough space there to keep your quilt in. Okay, and a good place to keep your pillows is up here at the back. A lot of people do that. Move on to the bathroom. Great bathroom in these vans, separate shower. Really, really spacious. So you've got your toilet here. Head on the toilet will swivel around. It'll move about. This is for emptying your toilet. So that's a closed or empty, open position, sorry, and that's the closed position. Again, Thetford, little water pump there for putting the water out through the bowl, and the light will light up there to tell you whenever it's ready to. On this particular one, it's not, it's actually a float level. So float level here will tell you it'll change to red whenever it is ready to be emptied. Okay, push button, sink trap. All right, just to catch that there, the toilet roll holder there. Light switches up here, up on the top. Again, you have a roof light here, and to open those roof lights, you squeeze that handle in, squeeze that one in, and they will pop up. And again, you've fly screens and blinds both ways on it. To close it again, it's just give it a good pull down, make sure it's locked in. Okay. As I come forward, seat belts here for 2 passengers. The table, sorry. It's got a latch on it here. You can slide the table back and forwards. This locks it in. You can also spin the table around on its axis as well, so you can get the table in pretty good position. But that's in a lock position there. We've got USBs here, 240 volt both sides. Twin USBs and 240 volts. Little touchscreen lights up here. Just hit the button in the middle and those little lights will come on as well for you. Okay. Down the bottom down here, you'll see a switch, and that's your heated waste tank switch. So you just turn that on whenever you want to, if you're in winter weather, and that will stop your waste tank from freezing. All your outlets for your boiler are down here. And various ones around the back, so you can leave them open and close and direct the flow of air wherever you want. As I said, your seat belts are there. If you want somebody to sit on the inside seat here, you can lift this insert out, and there are 2 latches here, underneath, there and there. And if you just pull those 2 latches, that panel there will fold down flat against the wall. And again, when you want to use it again, pull it up and it'll lock in and set the insert back in again. All the electrical systems in the van are just here inside the habitational door, underneath this seat. Again, all in the manuals of the vehicle, very good manuals in the Benimar. So you've got the CBE charging unit here. This is your trip for 240 volts, very similar to the house. Again, just keep an eye on it when you go to site so it doesn't trip on you. Especially if you're putting too much of a load through it. These are your fuses, so your fuses for your lights, for your fans in the kitchen, for the beds and whatever. And then we've got a couple of additional items here. So this is a 3-stage battery charger, which is a booster battery charger, which comes from the alternator, and these smart alternator vans now require this. So it's pretty straightforward in there, so it is. Hopefully you'll not need to be in there too often. Just put that back up again. Last but no means least, you have a turbo fan on the roof here. So this is a 12 volt fan. It'll push a couple hundred litres a minute in full power. So you need to crank it up, open it up to let the air flow through it. And then you turn it on and off with this button here. And you can blow air, suck air out or blow air in, whatever you want. Okay. And again, you have nighttime blind on that as well, which will come across and lock in over here. Okay. This system also has True MyNet on it, which is your Bluetooth control, which is the box on your left here. We'll cover that in a separate video. So it allows you to control the heating from your smartphone. You can put a GSM mobile data card into it too, so it will allow you to control it away from the van. And then you've got over here to the right hand side is your TV charge or TV aerial booster. So that should be left on all the time as well when you want to use the TV. TV point on the Benimar 282s is in the back here. Don't come standard with a TV, but this customer's required a TV, so there's one mounted in there. To pull it out, you push this little latch here, spring latch, just let it slide out. And then you can pull this pin up here. and let it swing round. And similarly, you can adjust the angle of the TV with this here, lock it off. But whenever it's in the travel position, it needs to be locked there, tightened there, and then pushed in and locked in. Okay. So that about covers the 282. Thank you very much for watching the video.